If you go to a wedding these days, and in that wedding, if the host invites an imam to come and recite some ayahs of the Qur'an, when that imam or that hafiz goes to recite the ayahs of the Qur'an, the verses of the Qur'an, if you analyze the crowd and you look at the crowd and you just analyze them, when the imam is reciting the Qur'an, at least 95% of the people, if not more, are still talking. They are still on their phones acting like they are doing something important. They are still on their phones, they are gossiping, they are slandering, they are backbiting when the words of Allah is being recited. But on the flip side, when the groom or the bride is walking out on the red carpet, if you analyze the crowd, then at least 95% of the people are astonished. They're so shocked, they have no words, they're speechless. And at that time you will only see 5% of the people, they are talking or they are on their phones. So this also shows, my brothers and sisters, what level the Qur'an has come to in some of our lives. My brothers and sisters, we all know Suratul Hashr, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this surah mentioned that if this Qur'an was to be revealed on top of a mountain, that the mountain will crumble with fear of what this book has in it. We all know this. We all hear it all the time. But very fortunate that we as insan, we have taken this challenge upon ourselves. And we have accepted the Qur'an. But the very unfortunate part is that many of us are not trying to live up to this challenge of the Qur'an. What do I mean by living up to the challenge of the Qur'an? My brothers and sisters, it is farz upon us to learn how to read the Qur'an. It is farz upon us, it is incumbent upon us that we must learn how to read the Qur'an with tajweed. If we cannot do it and we have reached the old age, send our children. Send our children to come to learn the Qur'an. You know, this trend that's going on nowadays, Sunday school. Sunday school, my brothers and sisters, is very good. I'm not condemning it. You send your child every week for Sunday school. But what are you imposing and what are you implying on those children when you only send them to Sunday school? What are you imposing and implying on those children? That beta, from Monday to Friday, you don't have time for the Qur'an. Don't even talk about the Qur'an from Monday to Friday. You have school. Don't forget your academic. You make sure you know your secular knowledge. From Monday to Friday, you don't have time for the Qur'an. Saturday, you take a relaxed day, and Sunday, when you're not doing anything, when you have time, then you go from 10 to 12 and come to Darulum and learn some Qur'an. What is the English saying? Actions speak louder than words. We might not say it literally with our tongue to our children that the Qur'an should become second in your lives, but we are doing it with our actions. If our children only see the house of Allah on a Sunday, what will they think? If we only push our children to come and learn the Qur'an only on a Sunday, what will they do when they grow up? They will only think that Allah and the Qur'an and the Rasul of Allah should be mentioned and should be remembered only on a Sunday for 2 hours. My brothers and sisters, before it could have been an excuse that, there is no madaris next to us. But now every single masajid in South Florida has dars going on, has a madaris running. There is no excuse, my brothers and sisters. If whatever masajid you live close to, you go and you try to send your children to come and learn the Qur'an. In Darulum, we have classes that run 7 days a week for everyone's convenience. If you cannot make it on the weekdays, we have weekend programs for the students. The weekdays, we come from 4 to Isha. Whatever time, in that time frame, whatever suits your child best, you send him. And if he cannot even come on the weekdays, we also have weekend programs. The weekend programs we run from Friday Maghrib to Sunday Dhuhr Salah. To Sunday Dhuhr Salah. And as they sleep here, they board here, they lodge here, they do everything here. So the convenience is made, my brothers and sisters. We just need to put the effort, my brothers. Because on the day of Qiyamah, my brothers and sisters, on the day of Qiyamah, we will have no excuse to give Allah. Allah will say, Darlum was right next to you, how come you didn't send him? What will you tell Allah? Oh Allah, he had secular knowledge. Don't you know that the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says that the Quranic knowledge should be superior to all other knowledge. It's a hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But today, as I mentioned, we don't want to follow the Quranic way. We don't want to follow the Sunnah way. We want to follow our way. We want to follow our way. That's the problem, and that's the disease that's going through each and every one of our hearts today. This Qur'an has come to such a status in our lives that only if we have time we will go to learn the Qur'an. Only if we have time we will try to spend some time and try to learn how to read the Qur'an. Only if we have time. It is not something that we put in our schedule and make a priority. And going back to the wedding incident, as I was mentioning, when the Qur'an is being recited and when people are talking and when people are on their phones, it is not only bayadab, it is not only disrespect towards the Qur'an, it is also going against the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Let these radical imams brainwash some of us. We come here, we sit, we sleep in khutbahs, we don't get the message, that's why we miss it. He says, all I need you to be grateful. Allah Akbar. Are you telling me Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not protect the prestige of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? All of us are only living for business. That's all our dream. Let me see who shall save you now.